Business innovation is generally understood to be the introduction of a new product or service, or the discovery of a market opportunity where a new product is launched. Where do these ideas come from? Well, who knows your company better than the people who work there? Your employees are your greatest resource for new thinking and creative problem solving. Joining us now to help us understand how to motivate and reward employees' innovative ideas is human resources expert Danika Davis. Danika, it's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
us. What is the biggest inhibitor to innovation? Is it being too rigid?
Absolutely. When you start hearing a company say things like, we don't do it that way, every time that there's a new idea,
you got a problem.
You've got a problem. And that creeps in very small ways. Employees don't read the headlines, they read the subtext, the meat of the article. So if you walk around saying, we're wildly innovative, and you're going to be innovative on Thursdays between 3 and 5, and every other time besides that you have to ask permission to do anything, what are you really telling those folks? They're not part of the innovation process. So it takes some discipline on the part of management to foster innovation all of the time, and think about those other things that you're doing that kills people's spirit. So it really is about killing the spirit of an organization and the spirit of folks. People don't take a job and say, oh, I want to be bored for the rest of my life and never have a new idea. So it is a bit paradoxical. You got to have structure. You need some rules. So the advice is to have the necessary rules. Take a look at what it is you need to have, what parameters you need to have, without losing sight of the vision.
So how do you get that into the organizational chart then? Is it a daily process as well as innovation on the chart itself, in addition to R&D? How do you get those things flowing?
Do you have a daily innovation session? In some managers, they call it strategic planning, innovation, whatever, but you do have to set aside specific time. Otherwise, you get too busy mopping up the floor to turn off the faucet, right?
Mm-hmm. So you want controlled chaos from the employees, basically.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Controlled chaos is a great way to put it. If things are too chaotic, you're not going to accomplish any goals, right? If they're too rigid, you're also not going to accomplish any goals unless the person driving that rigidity has all the ideas they ever need. Sometimes that's true.
What about some of the other types of businesses? A big business, right. How do those companies innovate?
Well, they certainly have a tougher challenge. For one thing is, if they're in a mature market, they probably have a lot of mature contributors. So, and I don't mean by age. I mean, they've been with the organization for a long time. All of us become myopic in some sense when we're doing something in the same structure with the same people every single day. So you do see people start to have planned innovation by taking you out of your normal context. That's why companies go on retreats, or why you take a planning meeting off-site in order to ensure that you have some fresh ideas. Some companies will have job rotation if they're in that mature cycle, so that people see a new department, a new way of doing things. And all of those things can work very well in a large organization.
So I'm running a medium-sized business. Mm-hmm. I'm ready for new ideas. What are some of the first things I look at to start innovating in the company?
First is that issue of structure. Do I have a structure? Sometimes innovation is being thwarted by the fact that you don't have one. So people have no idea what the parameters are, or that you're expecting them to innovate. Are my lieutenants, the next level of management, buying into this? And am I ready to hear those ideas? And that sounds like a very strange place to be. But sometimes we say, as managers, I want my people involved, I want to hear your best idea. And every time they bring us an idea, we say, that won't work. There has to be some tolerance that a new idea isn't going to be the most efficient right out of the gate.
It's a little bit like investing in the markets. What's your tolerance for volatility?
Absolutely.
And it's a volatile issue with innovation, because your company is going to change. For better or for worse, there's no guarantees.
Absolutely.
So being open to that volatility over short or long term, or knowing what that horizon is, and then committing to it, I guess.
Committing to it, but I'm all right with saying that you're going to let it be evolutionary as a process. So if you're introducing it and you've not been innovative before, do it as a pilot project, a test lab. Learn your lessons before you roll it out to your whole company. Team members are very in tune with they call the management treadmill, the new idea du jour. Mm-hmm. So they're going to hang out. They're going to sit on the fence and say, are they serious? Do they really want us to try something a new way? Because every time they talk to me, it's do it the way I told you to do it. So you have to be careful in that when you're inviting it, that you're ready for it. And so if you're not sure, keep it in a small environment. Figure out what you want to do, then go larger scale.
And one way to show employees that you're serious is to reward them.
Absolutely.
So how do you work that into the mix? They're innovating, they're doing things. Let's give them the rewards they deserve.
The first place to look is whether or not you have reward systems that are actually working against innovation. I'll give you an example. If you are all about speed, and every award and recognition program you have is faster, better, faster, better, faster, 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 and then all of a sudden you say you want to be innovative, but every time somebody gets recognized, it's for being the most efficient, you've actually given the sub-message, well, that's not really what they're about. But another element that can really ensure better success is having the team be rewarded for an innovative idea. Whoever generated that idea isn't the one that's going to execute it all the way through an organization. And when we only recognize the individual who came up with the idea and not feel that there is a team element there, you run into people working against it.
So what's the difference between energized employees who are motivated to innovate and just a chaotic workplace where it's just not working?
Well, the easiest way to see it is results. If you have a completely chaotic workplace, you're not achieving your goal. You might not even be making progress on goals. So having some measures on what actually is progress on goal will give you some leading indicators on whether or not you're too chaotic or not. The second part is, are those employees happy? You can tell energized employees. They're bringing forward new ideas. They're talking to you. They're solution focused. When people are in a chaotic work environment where there's too much stress, you hear a lot of complaints. When people start asking about things that are really minor issues, it's usually a symbol that there's something more going on there.
There's a deeper issue.
There's a deeper issue.
What else can they do?
When you look at innovative organizations, there is a leveling in the communication area. It's not necessarily that they don't have many layers of management. In a very big organization, that's required. But people are hearing the same messaging from the same person.
Have you looked at formal versus informal communications between employees and management, like the happy hour, the shooting pool, where they can kind of let their hair down a little bit and relax and communicate? Is that as effective as the formal communications?
I think both are effective for different reasons, and each one is going to be used depending on the context of the message. I mean, you hear about corporate retreats or folks going off, or the skunk works where they go off and they're in this separate little room and they have fun all day and things of that nature, and there's an element of communication that works in that environment. Sometimes if you're sharing big changes in direction or introducing a new concept, it might need to be a little bit more formal. Having a structure where people could ask questions would be ideal. You know, the larger you get, the harder that is, but it is possible.
You got innovation, you've got happy employees.
Absolutely.
What could be better?
Nothing in my world.
Thanks, Cindy. Great stuff. Thank you.